Welcome to the Fantasy Football Bandwagon. And now your hosts, Nolan and Brayden.
What's up, bandwagoners? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Bandwagon Podcast. Brayden's going ape shit over here. Tuscan Raider. This is week 5. Stardoms and situms and stums. The stums. This is the Fantasy Football Bandwagon Podcast. I almost forgot what we were called there for a second. I am Nolan. That is Brayden. This is
We are here.
We are here in our lavish, high-dollar studio once again to bring you Week 5 of the NFL season. Some stuff went down, Brayden. It's gonna be a weird week.
It's getting weird, man.
It's gonna be a weird week.
It's getting
COVID is
weird.
running rampant through the NFL. It's pretty great. Yeah, let's get right into it, Brayden. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's do this. I'm ready.
Don't forget to go follow us on social medias if you have not already. Most of you have. We appreciate it. At FF Bandwagon on Twitter and Instagram, and then the Fantasy Football Bandwagon page on Facebook. Go like that. We post updates.
Feel free to share like if you find us useful to you, I know you want to keep us a secret. I get it, but share the wealth. All right, share the wealth.
Share the load.
Share the
I
load.
can't remember what that movie's from.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
Week 5. 2 teams are on a bye this week. Packers and Lions.
There might be more teams on by.
Make sure the Packers and Lions are not in your starting lineup because they will get you 0 points this week. That is the scheduled buys this week. Other news, Brayden. The Tennessee Titans keep collecting positive coronavirus tests.
They're collecting them? Like they accept them?
They're
willingly?
piling them all up in a corner. I think they're up to 22 staff members and players.
2 yesterday, another one today. And by the time y'all are listening to this, yesterday.
This is not good. This actually puts another Week 5 game in jeopardy. Last week, the Titans and Steelers did not play because of the Titans' COVID situation. So officially, as of right now, on Thursday, it's Thursday night, but on Friday, when you were watching this, the Titans are scheduled to play the Buffalo Bills this week on Sunday. That is being moved to Tuesday. So you need to go check. This shouldn't affect most fantasy platforms. I would think they would be ready to deal with a COVID situation, changing some games around.
Yeah.
So, but double check with your platform. Make sure that Tuesday game is going to count for Week 5.
And I think most of them have already come out and said, like from last week, that they were going to count Tuesday as that correct week, right? And so, just like you said, double check, but they seem to be ahead of the game.
When I say platforms, I mean if you play on Yahoo, if you play on NFL Fantasy, if you play on ESPN, I think they are all prepared to deal with the COVID situation, but just make sure that your league settings or for whatever reason, hey, my Tuesday game doesn't count for Week 6 because that can really mess up your team. So like I said, that game is going to be played on Tuesday. If the Titans have no more positive coronavirus cases until if they have Friday morning when you listen to this, if they have more confirmed coronavirus cases, this game may be completely postponed this week.
It will not happen.
Which is a big deal. And we'll get to that when we kind of break down that game. We're still going to go through every game and kind of give you our gold starts and our sit list. And this game, I'll tell you about it, but be prepared to not start anybody from this game this week.
And another option, I know I was thinking about doing it in my league is, and talk to your commissioner about it. If you have somebody in that game and it's not confirmed that game won't be playing, and you plan on starting them, go ahead and put them in your lineup. Like I said, talk to your commissioner about this. Don't just do this. And if your commissioner is willing to have a pre-selected player that you can substitute in and have the commissioner do that if that game does not play.
Yes. These are unique circumstances. And what that means is I have Derrick Henry and I have Todd Gurley. You want to start Derrick Henry. He's a good running back for fantasy purposes and in real life. So start Derrick Henry if he's in your starting lineup for, say, past Sunday. I say once you get past Sunday, then that's when it kind of counts because you can't really change him out at that point. You start Derrick Henry on Sunday,
Well,
but
the commissioner
yes,
can.
well, that's what I mean. You talk to your commissioner. Hey, for these players in this game, this should go for Titans and Bills players. You get to designate a reserve player for that one spot, and you don't get to change it. So, hey, if my commissioner says it's okay, this is what we're doing for this Titans-Bills game, you get a reserve player. I start Derrick Henry, keep him in my lineup. If that game, for whatever reason, does not happen on Tuesday, I had already pre-designated, pre-Sunday,
That's important.
had designated Todd Gurley as my backup for that spot. So if that game doesn't happen, my commissioner goes in and either changes it or you manually add the points, however they do it in whatever league you're in, and you get Todd Gurley's points instead of Derrick Henry's no points. It's got to be predetermined with your league. But that is one option that may happen in our league. It's an unprecedented week in the NFL.
So we're trying to figure it out as fast as the NFL is. So.
And if that Titans-Bills game does not happen, so currently it's moved to Tuesday. The Bills were scheduled to play on Thursday of next week, week 6. So as of right now, that game has been pushed to Sunday against the Chiefs. So it's a whole jumbling of the schedule. The Titans have already used their bye and moved their other bye week around. It's going to get weird.
And keep a lookout. I don't know if they're going to try to move a game up to Thursday or what they're going to try to do, but keep, just monitor the news.
It's going to be a lot of moving around, and you just got to be prepared for it. You got to have reserve players. That's what this year more than ever, your bench is more important than it ever has been before.
We are more important to you.
Yes.
More right now than in the history of fantasy football.
Your bench is very important this year. This could all change depending on the COVID test in Tennessee. Like I said, for whatever reason, the Patriots and Broncos game is moving from Sunday to Monday night. So I'm not really sure why that is.
Yeah,
maybe to give the Patriots a little more time, but I still expect Cam Newton to not play in this game.
It's Bill Belichick, man.
He's getting one over on somebody.
He's trying to get Cam back, man.
It's trying. So I don't really know the reason for that. Obviously, Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore, the defensive MVP of the season last year, those are the two players on the Patriots that have tested positive for COVID. So for whatever reason, that game has been pushed back a night. So you have to be prepared for that also. Don't play those guys in your flex spot. Move them to your starting position slot. This week's going to be a little weird with that. Sometimes you got to keep a guy in the flex because you might not have a whole lot of other options.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Dwayne Haskins, Washington football team.
Non-COVID news.
Yeah, non-COVID related news. Dwayne Haskins has been benched for Kyle Allen up in Washington.
It's a little bizarre, wasn't it?
A little bit. I wouldn't have benched him because I didn't think they played terrible.
He actually, I'm the resident Haskins hater.
Yes.
And he actually played decent against Baltimore.
But, that's just a piece of news. I don't think it's hugely significant. But it is a piece of NFL news that could affect your fantasy lineup.
It will be significant. And
tell us about some injuries here, Brayden.
Some notable injuries here. Obviously, we talked about the Titans and their COVID woes. Stephon Gilmore came down with COVID. Corey Davis also tested positive for COVID. He's one of the Titans that did test positive.
And he's one of the guys that has been a big pickup at the beginning of this year because A.J. Brown has been out.
Yep. So even if the Titans do play this week,
it won't be Corey Davis.
Corey Davis will not play. Keep that in mind. Lamar Jackson has missed a couple practices this week due to a knee issue.
Reigning NFL MVP.
I'm not looking into it as it seems to be precautionary. So
yes. If you have Lamar Jackson, you're starting Lamar Jackson.
Don't freak out. They're trying to make sure that he's good to go. Your boy Philip Lindsay is confirmed playing this week.
Yes, that is true. We'll talk about whether I'm starting or sitting him when we get to that game.
Yes, we will.
That Monday night game.
My boy Deontay Johnson returned to practice and is currently out of concussion protocol.
This is good news. I like this. He's turned into a big playmaker.
He
Juju
has.
is also practiced. They just had a bye week. They had their bye
Yeah.
week last week because they were playing the Titans. So that's probably good for most of the players. They get an extra week of rest early on when they need it.
And Juju is good for the offense in general. So
Joe Mixon had a big game, probably a career game last week.
nah,
What do you mean nah?
that wasn't career.
I mean, that might have been a career game for Joe
It
Mixon.
was not.
I mean,
Last year he went bananas. All right.
well, it was a pretty good game. It's probably the best game he's going to have this year.
Nah.
Was added to the injury report today with a shin issue. I'm slightly concerned about this
I was going to ask you about it.
because their matchup, I don't believe, is the best matchup. No, it is not a good matchup. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, but I don't have a whole lot of
They
other
play
options.
Baltimore, right?
And especially, they play Baltimore, and especially
Yeah,
after last
not
week,
a good
I
matchup.
almost feel like if you didn't sell high on him, you have to start him this week.
You
Jimmy
didn't sound too excited about that.
We'll get to him. Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert both did not practice today, but I believe they're trending towards playing this week. That would be good news for Mostert. Mostert's a big deal on this team, and I feel like he's better than McKinnon. McKinnon's had some good games.
Mostert's good. He's a good player.
Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo is better for this offense. We saw last week where Nick Mullins and I don't remember the other guy's name.
The Mullinator, and I honestly don't. I can't believe I don't remember, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm blank. But I'm probably not starting Garoppolo this week. It's not a big deal. There's other quarterbacks still out there. But Mostert I would be interested in starting. Brayden's boy Cam Akers is going to play this week. I don't think he's going to do a whole lot, but he's going to play.
Expect a lot. This Rams backfield is hairy.
Brayden wrote Alshon Jeffrey, but he didn't write anything about him.
Oh, that's true. That is also true.
Tell me about Alshon Jeffrey. I don't know. I don't know that he's leaning towards playing this week.
No, so I don't believe he's playing this week, but he is getting closer. If he's on your waivers right now, you're gonna have to go pick him up right now and stash him for later. If you have that luxury, because
are you excited about it though?
In 2 weeks, I actually am. I think that Alshon, when he comes back, I think that you are starting him as soon as he comes back. You're obviously needing him. So he's going to get a lot of targets. Carson Wentz loves to throw at Alshon when he's there. So whether he's hurt or not.
Leonard Fournette and Chris Godwin are both out they're currently playing right now against the Bears. They're both out. Neither one was playing. Next week is going to be a different story. But as we said on the Wednesday episode, the Bucs have been dealing with injuries all year so far. Everybody on their team has been on the injury report at some point.
They have.
Mike Evans just caught another 2-yard touchdown a minute ago. Has 5 red zone targets and 5 red zone touchdowns. So Mike Evans, even if he's questionable or limited, you're starting Mike Evans at this point.
They won't use him until they get down to the 1-yard line, and then they're going to throw it to Mike Evans.
Chris Godwin, if he's healthy next week, or this week, well, you can't play him this week because it's already happening. But you're playing Chris Godwin if he's playing in the game. Leonard Fournette's a little different story. So,
yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, the guy I was hyping up. It's been a long road for me and Le'Veon Bell. I was hyping him up this season.
Yeah.
I had him as like a top 10 running back.
Welcome
and then I thought
to the
more
club.
about
Welcome to the Le'Veon club.
Thought more about the Gase hole, and then he dipped down, and then he played week 1, and then he went on IR, and now he's coming off IR, but he's actually got a good matchup, and they suck, so they need help, and he's playing this week. I don't want to talk about him yet. Talk about him when we talk about that game.
Yeah, I just want to say welcome to the Le'Veon roller coaster.
Yeah, this is how it goes. He didn't even play.
I've been on this roller coaster for 4 years.
Michael Thomas is back at practice. Will likely play this week. They also play on Monday. And again, I'm pretty sure they played on Monday like last week too. That was strange. Sam Darnold is out for the Jets. Joe Flacco. Old Joe Flacco. Super Bowl MVP, I think. I think it was MVP.
He was, yeah.
Super Bowl champion Joe Flacco.
He was definitely the MVP too.
Do you think Baltimore misses Joe Flacco?
No. What question is that?
Hey, he won him a Super Bowl.
He did. I mean, they should build him a statue.
This doesn't concern me much about the Jets because they're the Jets. And, yeah. Calvin Ridley limited today with a knee issue. Julio has also missed his second straight practice. I am starting to worry about the Falcons receiving core here.
I'm kind of concerned about Julio.
Calvin Ridley had a big fat whopping 0 for 0 last week. Julio had more points than that, but left the game early with his hamstring injury. I'm
more concerned about Julio's hamstring injury. This thing is lingering and lingering and lingering.
Yes, it is. I am also concerned about it. What about Calvin Ridley, who had a big fat 0 last week?
I'm not. I wouldn't read into that a whole lot, to be honest with you. He might have been a little banged up, and that may have contributed. He also dropped a touchdown at the end of the game. That offense didn't look they just didn't look good, to be honest with you.
Sure.
So
I'm also less worried about Calvin Ridley than I'm Julio. Henry Ruggs updated to full practice. They're going to need to pass a lot because they're playing the Chiefs this week. So that could very well be a sneaky kind of flex play there, Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
And Drew Lock, the Broncos quarterback, still not playing this week, even though their game got pushed back to Monday. I believe Coach Fangio said that it's 24 hours is not going to help him, so he still may be a few weeks out.
Yeah, look for him next week. But, I mean, you probably won't start him, but look for him to play next week.
All right, Brayden. Let's get into our gold starts.
A gold start.
Put a little gold star on that head.
Sit list.
A little gold star on that head.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll go.
I got my Wawa today.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
You and your
My Wawa.
names. All right. Starts. Our gold starts. Chase Edmonds is my first one. Does that surprise you?
What team does he play for?
He's the running back for the Arizona Cardinals.
Cardinals. I wouldn't say it surprises me, no.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, so he's playing the Jets.
Which is a good matchup.
I really don't need to say anything else, but I'm going to. Drake.
Well, I think you do need to explain it a little bit.
I said I'm going to.
I know you're going to. But Kenyon Drake, yeah.
Yeah, so Drake hasn't looked the greatest. And it's kind of concerning. Initially, I was on the bandwagon of, hey, buy Drake low.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, of buy Drake low. And the more that we've gone on, the more that I've watched him, and he doesn't quite look like the same player as last year.
Yeah, it's
And
very strange.
I don't know what's going on, but Chase Edmonds does look good. And I believe that he will start to get the opportunity on top of this good matchup. And so he's my start of the week.
I think both of us are a little concerned. I have a couple shares of Kenyon Drake. I'm trying to get rid of those shares of Kenyon Drake. Not that it's not a sell high situation because he hasn't had a good week, but I'm trying to dump him for whatever I can get for him at this point before he becomes droppable.
Untradeable.
Yeah, before he becomes untradeable. Chase Edmonds, I think we both think could actually end up taking over that starting position at some point. Kind of like Kenyon Drake did the same thing last year. Kenyon Drake came in midway through the season and just took over the starting job and ran with it. Chase Edmonds so far has looked like the better running back.
And the thing is, Drake is not David Johnson, and this happened to David Johnson last year.
Yes.
Cliff Kingsbury is not afraid to change things up. So keep that in mind if you have any shares of Drake.
And they haven't been a big run team so far. But Chase Edmonds, that's as a start of the week, that's a little risky there because
it's fine.
He's still splitting as far as we know, but he definitely could have a big breakout game.
So Joshua Kelly is my second one. Plays the Saints. It's not like an amazingly great matchup or anything, but
that's a pretty solid defense.
He is going to be the workhorse with Eckler out. They are going to use him. He will get 20-plus carries. And
I think so.
Yeah, I think he will get 20-plus carries, and it wouldn't surprise me if he got 5 targets. I'm not counting on the targets, but I think with 20-plus carries, it's enough for him to get you a good fantasy week going.
So I think he's still got some competition with Justin Jackson, who came in relief after Eckler and in the second quarter, and I believe, and Josh Kelly still only outsnapped him by I think 2 or 3 plays.
No,
so I think he's got a little more competition there than you're giving him credit for in Justin Jackson.
Justin Jackson's going to get work. I'm not dismissing Justin Jackson at all. But what I am saying is Joshua Kelly has gotten 23 carries. He got 26 one week, I believe, with Eckler in the lineup. So imagine if Eckler is not even in the lineup. That just, I feel like he's a guaranteed 20+ carries guy.
Okay.
And then I threw in a little bonus one here. Justin Jefferson's playing Seattle. Their defense has gotten torched. Their
secondary.
Their secondary's
not
gotten
great.
torched.
Everybody's hurt.
And on top of that, Justin Jackson's had 100 yards in 2 straight games. Justin Jefferson, sorry.
Yeah, no, I also think that's a great start. I would definitely, out of your 3 there, I'm definitely most confident in Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
The other 2 are a little more, in my opinion, dart throws. Chase Edmonds is definitely a dart throw. Josh Kelly, I think is a little bit of a split, but Justin Jefferson, I'm all in on that one. Robbie Anderson is mine. My gold start of the week is remember how I didn't like DJ Moore coming into the season, Brayden?
Yeah, I was with you.
I don't hate my take on that so far. I think I've been mostly right on that, as he's not going to finish as a top 15 wide receiver this year.
He's not. Nope.
It's not going to happen. I knew coming. I talked about it several times that Robbie Anderson is.
We talked about it.
Yes. I was a little more high on Robbie Anderson.
Yeah. I thought you were
definitely thinking that he. I never necessarily said that he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver, but so far he's the number 1 wide receiver on this team, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's been the craziest thing about this team.
Yes, Robbie Anderson. Let me tell you right now, Robbie Anderson is actually wide receiver 6 on the season. That's did anybody expect that coming in?
Nope.
No. Robbie Anderson's averaging almost 18 points a game so far through 4 games, which is a good amount. That's a good amount. 19 in PPR. He's number 9 wide receiver on the year. I don't know why I said 6. I can't count. They play Atlanta this week.
Yes, they do.
Atlanta's 0-4, and their defense is technically their defense is worse than the Cowboys, because the Cowboys defense is bad, but the Cowboys beat the Falcons, so they're like
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
So, and they've given up a lot of deep plays. Robbie Anderson is the deep guy on the team. I just think he
fire up your Teddy Bridgewater.
I think he
Teddy
goes,
B.
Yeah, I think he goes off. He's got a 25% target share this year on his team. So leads his team. I think it's 9th in the league in target share. So that's crazy. Robbie Anderson's my guy. I don't have any shares of him. I have tried to get shares of Robbie Anderson this year, but now he's kind of
he's a staple in people's lineups.
Now he's gone off, and it's too hard for me to get him.
You have to give up too much.
I got another wide receiver. Playing another team I just talked about.
You stole this one from me.
Another team I just talked about.
I went to put this in our show doc, and Nolan said, sorry.
So you know what I could see becoming a trend here? Play your number 1 wide receivers against the Falcons and the Cowboys.
Yes.
And because it's going to happen. I'm starting Darius Slayton against the Cowboys because the Cowboys can't stop anybody on defense, especially deep. And
dude,
they haven't stopped anybody at all, even Atlanta, who's not a good team. Darius Slayton. The Giants have not been good, but they have to move the ball at some point. And this is the perfect deal. They've played some tough teams. The Giants have. I'm not a Giants fan by any chance. I think they suck. They do suck. But Darius Slayton is a playmaker on this team. He had a good week 1, scored 2 touchdowns against the Steelers. If he did that against the Steelers, he should be able to score 4 of them against the Cowboys. So
yeah,
I look for Darius Slayton to go off and have a great game this week against the Cowboys. Not that I think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game, but I do expect Darius Slayton to kind of show up here and not make it the easiest on the Cowboys.
I like it.
All right, Brayden. Who's on your sit list?
My sit list.
Who's on your shit list?
It is Melvin Gordon. He went from starts to sits real quick. All right, and here's a couple reasons why. New England defense is not what they were last year, and I think people recognize that. But
I believe they've only given up 1 rushing touchdown all year.
They are still very good at stopping the run. They have held in the last 3 games Chris Carson, Josh Jacobs, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire all under 75 yards with no touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And
I agree with this.
The one I think I do believe Chris Carson had a touchdown, but it was a receiving touchdown. And Melvin Gordon is more than likely not going to be getting much receiving work with your boy Philip Lindsay coming back.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of agree with that. Philip Lindsay's coming back, but I don't think either one of them is very productive in this game. They're going to still have a backup quarterback. I'm not even sure which one it is at this point, which backup quarterback it is. Could be Blake Bortles this week.
The Bortles.
It could be Blake Bortles. Yeah, I agree with your sit completely.
I like it.
What's your other one? Tell me your other guy. A guy that I had on my sit list last week and proved me wrong.
Yeah, he did. Terry McLaurin plays the Rams this week. He actually has a better matchup, and I'm still sitting him because Kyle Allen is now in at QB. It's not Dwayne Haskins anymore. All right. Kyle Allen is the check down king, which is good. It's good. It's good for
Captain check down
for Antonio Gibson.
Captain Kyle.
Yeah, Captain Kyle.
There you go.
It's good for Antonio Gibson, but it's not going to be good for Terry McLaurin. I'm sure they're still going to try to manufacture him touches and whatnot, but Kyle Allen had the worst passer rating of all starting QBs last year.
Okay. The only thing I have to say about this is if Terry McLaurin has a good game, we can never put him on our sit list again because that'd be 2 weeks in a row that he's proved us wrong on a sit list.
I agree, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Game. I didn't think he would against Ravens, but he proved me wrong there. My sits. First one. This guy I didn't like coming into the season anyways. Miles Sanders. What's his name? Philadelphia Eagles running back. They play the Steelers. Well, I was trying to, sometimes we need to reiterate that. Yeah, we're getting there. We're remembering. Sometimes you don't know these players all the time. Miles Sanders, running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. They are playing the Steelers this week. The Steelers have given up an average of less than 3 yards to starting running backs this year. It's
not great.
It's not great.
It's not great, Bob.
He may get some dump offs. I mean, that's what happens. I don't think he's going to be the worst producing running back this week, but if you're not expecting to get any points out of him this week. I would expect 0 points from him.
If you have a choice, like if you have 3 good running backs, I actually sat him.
Yeah.
I sat him this week.
Don't come into this game expecting him to go off or have a good game or get you more than 10 points. Because I don't foresee that coming against a really good Steelers defense that's hungry because they didn't get to play last week and they're rested after a week. And I think they're going to come ready to I think they're going to kill the Eagles.
It's not going to be a fun.
I think they're going to kill the Eagles.
The Eagles are not going to have a good time.
Julian Edelman is my other sit.
Here we go again with this. Are you sure?
He only had one good game, and it was the game that I said sit him last time.
I know.
They play on Monday against the Broncos. Julian Edelman, Super Bowl MVP, Patriots wide receiver. They have no Cam this week. Most likely no Cam. If Cam plays, it's different. We have not heard word that Cam Newton plays this week. If Cam does not play, he has no more than 5 receptions or 57 yards in his last 3 games, or his 3 of his 4 games. He had a good game against Seattle week 2, I believe, but he has no touchdowns this year. He's got either Jeff Driscoll or what are their names? Jared Stidham and Brian Hoyer throwing him the ball. I expect this to kind of be a run first game for New England here. I'm not starting Julian Edelman, and you shouldn't either. Let's jump right in the schedule, Brayden. Week 5 of the NFL season. It's currently 3-0, I believe. Bucks versus Bears.
13-7.
13-7. I refreshed the page. Bucks versus Bears. Nick Foles. I don't like Nick Foles. He already threw a pick. I saw it earlier. It was cool. Bucks win that game. That's cool.
Yep.
I probably would have only started Mike Evans. We don't need to talk about it. Sorry we didn't get you that information sooner. Rams at Washington football team. Hit your go down. I don't know what you're on. You're on the wrong page.
I'm on the wrong page.
Rams at Washington football team, Brayden.
Yes. You're
starting Cooper Kupp. You're going Robert Woods. Jared Goff is probably a good play here. A good streaming play here. Goof.
Yeah, you can stream Goof. I would much rather pick up somebody like if Teddy B's there. Teddy
Bridgewater for sure.
He's one of my streaming quarterbacks of the week, to be honest. So,
what about Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, and Cam Akers here, Brayden?
I'm not.
What are you doing with those
it.
3 guys?
I'm not very happy.
If you had to choose one, which one are you starting? I'm gonna make you choose one. Which one are you starting? If
you're gonna make me choose Malcolm Brown.
Malcolm Brown. Okay. I would probably go with Darrell Henderson. But yeah, it's one of those two guys at this point. You're not starting Cam Akers this week. He's been out, and he's not even the first or second choice on the team so far.
Have you noticed we flip-flopped like twice because nobody has any idea who it's going to be?
Well, I feel like one of these guys has value. Like
They do.
Some of the other backfields,
You just don't know when.
Some of the other backfields are a little more muddled. This backfield, I feel like, is one of the guys is going to go off. I feel like you're choosing between the two of them, though, and I feel like that's easier than some of the other backfields.
Until Cam Akers goes off this week, and then everybody's confused.
We'll see. Is Tyler Higbee still a starting tight end on your fantasy team?
Yes, he is.
I agree. I think he is. Tyler Higbee.
He had 3 touchdowns 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
He is a starting tight end on your fantasy team.
I agree. You're starting Tyler Higbee. What about on the WFT?
Oh, dang.
Washington
So
football
close.
team.
Antonio Gibson, you can play.
Yeah, I'm playing Antonio Gibson. From here on out, I think he's a starting running back.
I do too, honestly.
He's a running back 2 from this point on.
Yeah,
Is that
for
what
sure.
Is that how you feel?
With one upside, I mean, if he plays a bad defense, he can be a top 12 running back in that week.
Even against a good defense last week against the Ravens, he had a good week and got in for a touchdown.
He looked good.
Saw
And
more
he's getting the opportunity.
Saw more targets than we expected.
Yep.
And it looks like he's actually taking over the bulk of the carries on this team, which is different from the first few weeks, even though everybody thought it would be like that. I was going to say you're sitting Dwayne Haskins, but he is now the third quarterback on the team. You're not starting one of these quarterbacks, Kyle Allen. Please don't do it against the Rams.
No.
Braden's sitting Terry McLaurin.
And you may not. The thing is, like when we give these sits, you may not have the choice to sit Terry McLaurin.
Yes.
But just know you're not going to get a big game if you don't have the choice. If you have the choice, I'm willing to sit it.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. If you have Terry McLaurin and Deshaun Jackson and Marvin Jones
And DK Metcalf.
You're starting out of those 4. You're starting DK Metcalf and Terry McLaurin.
Right.
You're not just sitting McLaurin
For no reason.
just because we said to. It's got to be relevant to your team. You don't want to start scrubs, obviously, somebody has a worse chance of scoring points.
Like, would you have started Scotty Miller in this game or Terry McLaurin? I feel like that's
probably Scotty Miller.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like that's a good comp. So,
Yeah. But McLaurin still is the number 1 on a team that teams are going to throw the ball. He still has more upside than those other 2 guys, Marvin Jones, Deshaun Jackson. It's still McLaurin over those guys.
Kyle Allen's targets are like half of Dwayne Haskins' targets, and Dwayne Haskins' targets suck.
We talked about Logan Thomas before earlier in the year. If you still have Logan Thomas on your team, he's droppable at this point.
Yes.
He hasn't done anything. He hasn't showed up on that position. They haven't used that position like we thought they would. You don't have to keep Logan Thomas on your team at this point. Eagles at Steelers. Oh, who wins that last game, Brayden? Who wins the Rams?
The Rams.
Yeah, I also think so. 3-1 Rams versus 1-3 football team.
E-Girls.
The 1-2-1 NFC East division leader Eagles against the 3-0 Steelers. Who are you starting on the Eagles? I'm not. So let me tell you this. I'm actually starting Ertz. I think is the only person I'm starting on this team. I was gonna say nobody, and then I remembered Ertz is on this team.
Once again, this falls back to you may not have a choice to not start Miles Sanders, but if you do, don't start him.
Yes. I'm not starting Wentz. Carson Wentz is going to get killed in this game with the Steelers defensive line. Miles Sanders, if I have an option not to start him, I'm not doing it. There's not really a wide receiver here that you're starting. They haven't had a solid wide – Greg Ward has been their most solid wide receiver, and he hasn't put up very big fantasy numbers. So you're not starting him. Zach Ertz has had a few down weeks. He has.
He has, man.
Are you worried about Zach Ertz?
I mean, a little bit. He hasn't like looked the greatest either. So,
but I think that's more of a testament to the offense as a whole. It hasn't looked great.
It might be.
I'm a little more worried about Ertz when Goddard's there, but with no Goddard, I'm 100% confident in starting Ertz because he's essentially the main person the offense runs through on this team. So he's the only person on the Eagles I'm starting, but I just feel like the Eagles are going to get killed by the Steelers, who are rested and healthy. Are you starting all your Steelers?
Yeah, actually, I'm starting all my Steelers.
I also agree.
James Conner, Big Ben,
Juju,
and Deontay Johnson.
What about even Eric Ebron in there?
Yeah, you can put Eric Ebron in there.
I actually think Eric Ebron's a sneaky red zone play this week. I feel like they're going to score lots of points on the Eagles. I just do.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm starting on my Steelers in this game, and I'm not really starting any of my Eagles. That's just kind of how it goes.
Eric Ebron or Tyler Higbee?
Probably Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, I'm going Higbee too.
But honestly, this week it's really close for me. I can see Ebron getting in there. I just feel like they're not going to have any trouble with the Eagles defense at all. I just don't. Who wins that game? Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers.
Steelers.
It's unanimous.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
All right. Moving on. Cardinals at the Jets. Yet.
So this game, we have to talk about.
Yes.
We have to talk about the running backs in this game. Is I feel like you're starting Kyler 100%. You're starting D-Hop 100%. You're not really starting. Are you starting any wide receivers in this game, Brayden?
D-Hop.
That's not D-Hop. Sorry. I was like, you're starting somebody? Are you starting any wide receiver in this game that's not D-Hop?
I think you can flex Jamison Crowder.
Okay.
Because he's going to get a lot of targets.
I agree with that. Other than that, you're not starting a wide receiver. Jamison Crowder is the target monster on this team. If anybody sees more targets in the NFL than DeAndre Hopkins, it's probably Jamison Crowder, honestly. He's the only wide receiver that's worth the crap.
Does not like to throw it past like 10 yards anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So Jamison Crowder could end up with 15 targets this game.
Yeah. But let's talk about the running backs. Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds, Le'Veon Bell. You're starting Chase Edmonds.
If I need running back help, I'm starting Chase Edmonds, yes.
What if you have all three of those guys? What if you have Chase Edmonds, Kenyon Drake, because you drafted his handcuff in Chase Edmonds, and you have Le'Veon Bell on your team? And you can only choose one of those guys to start this week.
I'm choosing Le'Veon.
I think I agree with that, honestly.
I don't know. I don't like
as bad as that sounds, as bad as we've been towards the Jets in the Gase hole.
Like you're just gonna have to. I know it's gonna be so hard to sit Kenyon Drake. It's not gonna be easy.
Well, honestly, as a Kenyon Drake owner, after 4 weeks, I'm fine sitting.
Are you?
Drake. He's got me no more than 5 points the last 4 weeks total.
Okay, I mean, if
I don't think it's so hard starting him. I just think all three options are kind of iffy. All three options are iffy. Kenyon Drake's iffy at this point. Chase Edmonds is iffy. It's hard to start somebody who's the backup technically.
Yeah.
And then you have Le'Veon Bell coming off injury, who didn't have a good week one, and this team is bad. But if you're choosing between those three, you want opportunity. And Le'Veon Bell brings the most opportunity to this game in the running back position, as in the Jets, their starting quarterback's out,
and
there's nobody to throw the ball to.
And the Cardinals defense
is not good.
It's not that great.
No.
Like it's not that great. So that's just it. You know, it sounds bad that we want to play him over Kenyon Drake, but it is what it is. This is where we are at the Jets.
But also, I think it's a good matchup for Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds against the Jets.
Yeah, it is.
Their whole team is garbage. But yes, I have Le'Veon coming off IR in the league. I'm probably flexing him. I don't have him in the same league as Kenyon Drake, but I think all three running backs, if there was ever a week to be shaky about them but still feel okay starting them, it's this week when they both have good matchups against not great defenses.
Yep.
So I'm starting Kenyon Drake this week in the leagues that I have him because he's playing the Jets. If he was playing literally any other team, I'm not starting him. But he has the best opportunity to maybe have a good game, and then I'm selling high on him.
There you go. Who wins?
Cardinals win this game.
Cardinals definitely win this game. All right. Raiders at the Chiefs. What do you got here? Starting everybody pretty much?
No, I wouldn't say everybody on the Chiefs. Yes. You start everybody on the Chiefs every week. Including Mecole, yeah. At this point, I think he's kind of Demarcus Robinson hasn't done anything this year. Mecole's already caught some touchdowns.
I believe he scored a touchdown in each of the last two games. Yeah.
And he's not a big volume guy. We knew that coming into the season, but Mecole has that potential to just catch one pass for 70 yards, and then you got your points that you wanted out of him essentially that week. So I feel like you're comfortable starting all your Chiefs, even Sammy Watkins, even Mecole Hardman. Demarcus Robinson, maybe not.
Yeah, don't start him.
I don't think I'm starting Demarcus Robinson just because you should have a better option than him. But the Raiders, you're starting Josh Jacobs. He's a bell cow running back. You're starting Darren Waller. even though he's had a few down weeks, he played some tough defenses. He played New England. New England knows how to take away your best player. That's what they do better than anybody else. Darren Waller is the best offensive player on this team.
Yep.
You're starting him regardless because you don't have a better tight end, I promise. What about some of the wide receivers here? I don't mind Henry Ruggs if he's healthy. Is the only wide receiver here I might consider.
Yeah, you can flex Henry Ruggs.
Because I feel like they're going to have to pass the ball to catch up to the Chiefs. That's just what is going to happen.
This might be a Darren Waller game.
Yeah, exactly.
Darren Waller might go bananas this week.
I agree. This is definitely a Darren Waller game. Like I said, you're starting Darren Waller. I like Darren Waller. He was my guy last year. Brayden can attest to this. He was one of those no-name guys. Nobody knew who Darren Waller was last year. I got him late. That's the kind of stuff that wins you championships. Even though it didn't win me one last year, but I think Darren Waller could have a great game here. But Henry Ruggs, I do like to maybe sneak in one long touchdown.
A little flex value. A little
flex value.
A little flexy.
Sexy
flexy.
Who wins?
Oh, the Raiders could win.
See, let me tell you.
I think the Chiefs are going to.
If it was at Las Vegas, I might pick the Raiders here. But
Pat Mahomes,
it's at Kansas City.
Pat Mahomes he's on another level.
Yes.
Like he's in another stratosphere right now. It's going to be hard to go into Arrowhead Field and beat them.
Yes. So I picked the Chiefs here, but
yeah,
it's a division game. Division games are always tough.
I feel like this is an easy pick 'em week.
I know, right? Pretty much. Another division game
besides this next one.
Jaguars at Texans. Bill O'Brien got fired.
He did.
Texans could have a new look to themselves this week. Ooh, Did
they get DeAndre Hopkins back?
Yeah, he's coming off IR this week. He'll play.
DeAndre Hopkins?
DeAndre Hopkins does not play for this team. Deshaun Watson has not been the top 5 quarterback everybody drafted him to be, which I also predicted, by the way. Good call on me.
Tooting your horn.
You got to toot it sometimes.
Gotta
do sound.
We're clipping that. You gotta toot it sometimes.
You gotta toot it sometimes. Deshaun Watson has not been the quarterback you drafted him to be. This week, I think they kind of got the monkey off their shoulder. Bill O'Brien was holding everybody down on this team.
He was.
I think the Texans come out and are almost a completely different team. I think Deshaun Watson shows up here. I think Will Fuller goes off again. I even think there's a Brandon Cooks sighting this week. And a little bit of Randall Cobb.
I'm holding you accountable.
I think this team comes in and is like, all right, we gotta do something now. We're 0-4. We're at the worst, backed up in a corner, and we got the big Bob off our back. So, I wouldn't say I'm starting on my Texans though. I feel like you have to start Deshaun Watson because you drafted Deshaun Watson probably higher than you should have. If he doesn't have a good week, what do you do with Deshaun Watson going forward from here?
Against the Jaguars, if he doesn't have a good week,
because he hasn't had too many good weeks.
It's looking rough. You might want to start looking for flex options.
Stream options.
Stream options.
Are you? I don't know that I'm selling Deshaun Watson, and unless you get something great for him, unless somebody really believes in him. I think this team kind of turns it around. This was a playoff team last year. I know they had Bob, but I'm holding on to Deshaun Watson. I might start streaming somebody with a better matchup going forward. But you're starting Deshaun Watson this week. You're starting Will Fuller this week.
Yep.
Are you starting either of the other two guys, Cooks or Randall Cobb? Or even Jordan Atkins?
I think I really don't want to. No.
Yeah, I don't think I am. I think I'm starting the big 3: quarterback Will Fuller, wide receiver, and running back David Johnson.
Yeah.
And I think that's really all I'm touching. Jordan Atkins, I've been kind of streaming tight end in some of my leagues. I think he's a solid tight end streamer. He has got a few touchdowns this year. He's just a big guy over the middle.
If you need him, he's there.
But that's kind of where I'm at with them. Jaguars, Brayden. Tell me about your second team, the Jags.
DJ Chark's an auto start.
I want to say he's not, but he proved me wrong last week.
Catching those 2 touchdown passes. So Gardner Minshew, he is a little up and down. I think if you need a streamer QB and he's there, you can stream him. The Texans haven't had the greatest defense. Obviously, they're 0-4.
Yeah.
So He's a good streaming option. And are you playing anybody else? I mean, besides James Robinson?
Yeah, you're starting James Robinson week in, week out.
What about their wide receivers?
I mean, I would start Chark.
Besides Chark.
Other than that, I'm not touching this team. James Robinson's a stud, a workhorse for you.
I feel like the closest. Keep an eye on Chenault.
Yes. You're right. I do like Laviska Chenault.
I don't know that I play. He might be a deep flex.
Yes, he's a deep flex. He's one of those rookie wide receivers. This was a deep wide receiver rookie class. A lot of the guys have been ballers so far. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb. I think Chenault's on the up and up also. His team obviously wants to use him in different ways and get him the ball. So that's somebody to watch. I flexed him last week. Maybe he's not to that point yet where he's a safe flex every week, but I'm stashing him. If I have him, I'm stashing him. I'm not dropping him. You're looking forward to the future there.
I'm with you.
I actually think the Texans win this game.
I do too, man. I want to find a way to pick the Jaguars, but I think Deshaun Watson is too much to handle.
I just feel like the Texans are backed in the corner, and they're going to be savage animals. J.J. Watt's going to have like 13 sacks.
Savage animals. I tried.
Don't ever say that again.
I tried.
Joe Burrow Bengals.
I accept my defeat.
Joe Burrow Bengals at Baltimore Ravens. The 1-2-1 Bengals versus the everybody thought was going to be Super Bowl champ Ravens this year.
You starting AJ Green, right?
No, I'm dropping AJ Green on all my teams.
You should have dropped
Brayden,
him.
are you dropping AJ Green on all your teams?
I did, yes.
Yes, I saw you go through all the transactions in all the leagues and drop AJ Green. I might actually be sitting. Joe Burrow has been a solid start so far. I might be sitting Joe Burrow in this week against the Ravens.
There are better streaming options out there, so you need to be sitting Joe Burrow.
Would you start Teddy Bridgewater over Joe Burrow?
100%.
Yeah, me too. What about really the only pass catcher on this team worth starting is Tyler Boyd at this point?
Yes. Yeah, Tyler Boyd needs to be in your lineup.
Well, I say only, but T. Higgins is another one of those rookie wide receivers who has had 2 solid weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow likes to throw the ball.
Yeah.
He's another one of those guys I may be stashing. Maybe he's not straight flex material yet.
Yeah, they're also playing the Ravens.
Yes. That's what I mean. I don't know that I'm starting Higgins this week, but I'm stashing him if he's on my team.
Golly.
Yeah.
Technical malfunctions.
What do I do with Joe Mixon, Brayden?
You start him. What else can you do?
You were right. I don't know. I feel like, I'm starting Joe Mixon because I don't have much else to do. But I want to tell other people to maybe not start Joe Mixon, but I feel like you have to start Joe Mixon.
You have to, man.
I feel like
you can't get away from it.
He's played the Ravens before. It's not like it's his first time playing the Ravens. You're starting Joe Mixon, and after this week, you might need to figure out what to do with Joe Mixon after this week.
He's got a rough schedule ahead.
So you might be hoping he falls in for a touchdown, and I might be trying to sell Joe Mixon high like I was trying to this last week.
But on the other end, if he goes off against the Ravens and they show that they're going to continue to use him how he was used last week, you're looking good.
Yeah.
I would not sell high on him at that point.
Okay. I understand that. Do the Ravens win this game, Brayden? What if I told you the Bengals win?
I would call you a maniac.
I'm going to say the Bengals win this game.
At Ravens?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, all right. I'm going Ravens. I've chalked.
Lamar Jackson's hurt. He's coming off a knee injury.
I've been picking the chalk picks, and I will continue to do so because the Bengals are 1-2.
2-2 Panthers at 0-4 Falcons.
What if we're both wrong and they tie?
Oh, that would be amazing.
And the Bengals are 1-2.
That would be amazing. What about Panthers Falcons? This is another one of those shootout type games that we expect, but the Falcons offense, their wide receivers went from 3 of them are really good and can play every week to hey, last week all 3 of them did garbage.
Nobody did anything. Yeah.
What are you doing with the Falcons?
You're playing those guys. You're playing all 3 of them. You can still flex Russell Gage, I believe.
I believe you can flex Russell
Unless
Gage.
obviously monitor Julio's status because he is an issue right now.
So
And if he is a game time decision, it's going to be rough.
let me voice on Julio. So I have Julio in a lot of leagues, and we've talked a lot about Julio so far on the show. I'm sitting Julio this week, whether he plays or not. It's just I've prepared the last 2 weeks to play without him because he's burned me the last 2 weeks. I'm sitting him. I'm not trying to get burned by Julio Jones again.
Don't blame you.
I'm in a league where I'm 1-3. I need a win. I can't afford to start somebody who has been injured the last few weeks in a row, and it's obviously hindered him the last few weeks. And I can't afford to take a big 2 points in my wide receiver spot. So I'm sitting Julio this week. In almost all my leagues that I have him.
I'm with you. I had Julio in one league, and I traded him away, and that's the only reason that I won last week.
Yes. I'm not – he burned me last week. He played, got a few points, and then he's out. Against the Cowboys, he played, got you a few points, went out. I'm not prepared to do that this week. I need a win. So I'm sitting Julio in all my leagues almost all my leagues I have him. It's another one of those situations, though, where – if you have a bunch of scrub guys that are also hurt, you're probably not playing them over Julio. It's, your team factors in there. What about Matt Ryan? We haven't talked about him much lately as a streaming option or anything like that.
Because he's owned. I think he's owned in the majority of leagues.
I would say so.
You can play him unless you have a better option. I would play him over a streaming option unless it's Teddy Bridgewater. I would play Teddy Bridgewater over Matt Ryan. No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't play Teddy Bridgewater over Matt Ryan?
I don't think I could, no.
Okay. I might this week.
I mean, it's a toss-up.
Those guys are closer than it kind of comes out to be. What about Hayden Hurst, tight end over here? I feel like he's a safe tight end option every week. He's one of those guys that at least he's on a team that throws the ball.
Yeah, I just don't think he's going to boom. He won't boom for you. He's not –
I mean, he may not boom, but you're starting him over Austin Hooper. You're starting him over Greg Olsen. You're starting him over Kyle Rudolph. You're starting him over, a lot of the other tight ends out there. Are you starting him over Mike Gesicki, Sticky Gecko?
No.
Sticky Gecko's had one catch in the last 2 games.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'll take the upside of Sticky Gecko.
I'll start Hurst. What about your boy Todd
had
Gurley
a couple
here?
Bad matchups.
What about your boy Todd Gurley here? Your sit list last week, and he actually ended up proving you wrong last week.
Oh my gosh! All right, I do not accept that.
But he did.
He had 2 touchdowns and did nothing else in the game.
But he had 2 touchdowns.
It's so garbage. I don't accept it. He was a good sit.
All right, so what are you doing with Todd Gurley at this point? If you have Todd Gurley on
you're
your
playing
roster,
him against the Panthers. He gets all the goal line work. I don't know why they don't use him more, and it frustrates me. So but you're probably playing him because you don't have another choice.
He leads the team in snap percentage at the running back position, but it doesn't feel like they do anything with him at that position. I'm flexing Todd Gurley. If you have him, I'm flexing him.
Yeah.
I still feel like he could fall in for 2 touchdowns like he did last week. It's just something you're going with. Panthers, are you starting all your Panthers?
Yes. You are actually starting all your Panthers.
This is a recurring theme every week. You start all your players against the Falcons. It's just the thing you do.
Not only that, but I mean, Mike Davis to me is an auto lock in your lineup.
Mike Davis has been a stud since Christian McCaffrey's been out. But watch it though. As soon as McCaffrey comes back, Mike Davis is
McCaffrey time.
Is done. Yes. So you're starting Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Mike Davis. Ted Bridgewater, we think, is a solid flex. He saved me a win last week.
Yep.
That was nice. Ian Thomas, tight end there. I might even play him.
Yep.
It's Falcons.
Who wins?
The Panthers. Is that chalk, Brayden? What's the chalk here?
I feel like chalk is Panthers, but I'm picking Falcons. I think they get their first win.
Okay, I can see it. Dolphins at 49ers. What are you doing in this game? Deebo Samuel, I also saw, was out with an illness today. We don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo's coming back. If Jimmy Garoppolo plays, are you starting him? Are you flexing him or not flexing him? Streaming him? I'm not.
Probably not. No,
I'm not this week.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to touch Jimmy G. You're obviously Kittle's an auto start.
What about the running backs here? Raheem Mostert is questionable to play.
If McKinnon, you're playing regardless.
Yes, McKinnon, you are playing regardless.
He is the one person in this backfield that you are playing regardless.
The top 2 running backs in this backfield, you're safe playing. If McKinnon if Coleman comes back, then you're a little questionable on McKinnon. I feel like
he was even producing. I mean, with all 3. So I think you're safe to play McKinnon at least this week, and we'll see how the backfield shakes out for next week. But
if Mostert plays, are you playing Mostert?
Yes. If Mostert plays, I am still playing.
Me as well.
Mostert.
If Mostert's playing, are you playing Jeff Wilson?
No, I'm not playing Jeff Wilson either way.
Okay, you're not playing. What if even if Mostert doesn't play?
Correct.
If Mostert doesn't play, I might be flexing Jeff Wilson.
He did not get
I don't know, I'm gonna be
any
happy
work
about it,
last week.
But he's an option. George Kittle played last week and won lots of people their fantasy matchups last week.
I have a crazy stat about George Kittle.
All right, you got this.
You ready? George Kittle, through 4 weeks, is the number 7 fantasy tight end.
And he missed 2 weeks.
And he has pretty much done that in 1 week.
He missed a week and a half, yeah.
No, he's missed 2 games for sure. And his first game, he only got 2 points.
Yeah, George Kittle's a beast. You start him every week.
40 points in 1 game.
Yeah, I know. I lost in one of my matchups because of George Kittle.
Yeah, he can do that.
You play George Kittle every week regardless, even if he's questionable. Even if he plays on one leg, you probably play him. Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel.
Yes.
Deebo Samuel played last week and didn't do really much at all.
He was more out there they were monitoring his reps. He did catch three balls for 3 targets. I think they're going to continue to work him into the offense. It's not going to be a full-fledged, hey, you're in. So I think I'm off of Deebo this week and maybe look next week to start playing him.
What about Brandon Ayuk, who they use all over the field? If you had to choose between Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, which one are you
For this game, I'm going Ayuk.
I think I agree here.
And I think Ayuk is a flex.
Yes. What's the next one? I can't see.
It is the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins.
So you're Devontae Parker and you're Myles Gaskin.
Well, even in this matchup, I don't think it's a good matchup here for Myles Gaskin.
It's fine. You're playing him.
Okay. All right.
I think you play him either way.
Okay, that's about it. What about Jazeki? You said you would play Jazeki over his.
Obviously, don't play Myles Gaskin over, good people.
Yes,
only if you need him.
I
want to make that clear.
I think he's safe to not play this week. But
if you need him, I think he's got a good floor.
What about Gesicki?
Yeah, I'm playing Jazeki. They're gonna have to keep up with the Niners offense, and Fitzpatrick likes to throw it all over the field anyway. So,
but not to Jazeki the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I explained to you why if you listen to the podcast.
Okay, I don't listen.
Apparently,
I don't listen. The Niners win that game?
Yeah, Niners win.
Giants at Cowboys. You're playing Darius Slayton. I actually think this is a safe play for Daniel Jones this week.
Yeah,
I have actually picked him up to stream in one of my leagues.
Are you putting everybody in this game in your lineup?
No.
Besides Devontae Freeman.
I'm on the Giants. I'll play Slayton. I'll play Daniel Jones as a streamer. If last resort, I'm not playing him over my guy that I play week in and week out. I'm not.
Are you playing Evan Ingram?
Yes, I'll play Evan Ingram in this game because the Cowboys' defense is garbage.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Daniel Jones or Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay.
Just because Daniel Jones has not shown that he can do anything.
I actually agree with that. But Daniel Jones has showed before the last year and
just not this
week
year.
1.
Yeah, not this year.
Week 1 he had a solid game. He's shown he's got some playmaking ability. He just has had a rough schedule so far.
He has turnover
I
issues.
think yes. I think against the Cowboys, those are the 3 guys I'm safe. I'm still not starting a running back here though. Giants running backs, they're just not safe this year.
They're not.
Saquon Barkley couldn't run with this line. These guys can't either. Cowboys. I feel like this offense, it sounds cliche, but you start all your Cowboys.
Start all your Cowboys.
All of them. Because they can score 40 points.
Besides,
They haven't not scored points except for, against the Rams. That was a weird week. But they're going to have to score points to stay ahead or keep up. So you're starting all your Cowboys. I'm completely fine. Michael Gallup, I know, has had a couple down weeks. You're still starting Michael Gallup. You're flexing Michael Gallup. Cowboys win.
Yeah, Cowboys win.
I feel like Cowboys have to get a win here.
Yeah, Cowboys.
They need it. Giants need it too, but I feel like the Cowboys are the better team.
If the Cowboys lose this game, I'm not coming. I'm not coming here. The podcast is over.
Okay, deal. Colts at Browns. A big run-heavy matchup here.
Yeah.
But one team clearly has better defense in the Colts. Kareem Hunt, I don't think we talked about Nick Chubb a whole lot at the beginning, is on IR, is out for a few weeks. We talked about him last episode. Kareem Hunt is a running back 7 with Nick Chubb through 4 weeks.
He's good.
Kareem Hunt has jumped up to a top 5 running back, in my opinion. This matchup is probably going to be one of the harder ones he has for a while. But a couple of the Colts starting linebackers are out. I'm starting Kareem Hunt with full confidence, 100% confidence. With 95% confidence.
No, I'm 100% starting Kareem Hunt.
He is still slightly questionable with a slight injury that he dealt with last week. Didn't bother him through the game.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
But that's the only little concern that I have.
The big question, are you playing Dearness Johnson?
I want to say
big waiver pickup from the week.
Yes, the Browns running back who actually led the team in carries and yards last week when Nick Chubb went down. I don't think I'm starting him this week, Brayden. I know he was the big waiver pickup. He's going to help your team. Nick Chubb is going to be out multiple weeks.
Yeah.
But I think this is a tough matchup, and I think they rely heavily on Kareem Hunt here. And I don't think it's as much of a run-heavy game as it is a pass-heavy game. And I know you may have picked up Dearness Johnson because you needed help, but I don't know that. I mean, if you have to start him, start him. But I don't know that if I have the choice, I'm not starting him.
Dearness Johnson or Myles Gaskin?
Gaskin. I'd rather start Gaskin there.
All right. Dearness Johnson or Jerick McKinnon?
McKinnon.
Even with Mostert back?
Even with Mostert back.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that. What about Odell and Jarvis?
Yeah,
who names their
Jarvis
kid? Who names their kid Jarvis?
All right. Odell has been having a couple. He's stringing together a couple good games.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know who names their kid Jarvis, by the way. Odell is starting to look like old flashes of the old Odell.
Well, I don't really know why we're questioning Odell. You start Odell. You're starting Odell. Especially after the last 2 weeks he's had, you're starting. Jarvis Landry, there's some – I don't want to say there's concern there. I wouldn't say there's concern, but there's a little more reason to question. But I still feel like you're safe flexing Jarvis Landry.
You can flex him.
He threw a touchdown pass last week. Come on. Colts. Jonathan Taylor, you're going to start. Stud running back.
T.Y. Hilton?
I don't know.
Okay,
what?
Little sneak peek. I wanted to make T.Y. Hilton my start of the week. I wanted so bad to do it. I can't
either. I'm not starting a Colts pass catcher that's not named Mo Alley Cox.
Oh, yeah, he might have a good game.
I feel like I'm not even streaming Phillip Rivers at this point.
Me neither. Yeah.
I'm out the only Colts I'm starting, Jonathan Taylor and Mo Alley Cox. Fair?
Who wins?
We didn't talk about Baker. This week, Baker is not a solid flex player.
No, do not. Colts defense is a very good defense.
Yeah, what about Austin Hooper? I want to say he's not a consistent starting tight end for your fantasy roster this year. Not so far.
I would agree.
I actually think the Browns win this and surprise the Colts.
I think the Browns start 4-1.
And it's quit copying me.
I'm not.
Vikings at Seahawks. 1-3 Vikings against 4-0 Seahawks. Are you starting everybody in this game? Is this another one of those games where you just kind of start everybody? Dalvin Cook's been a stud.
It is.
Adam Thielen's been a stud. Justin Jefferson's coming in his own. Kyle Rudolph can fall into a touchdown.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not necessarily starting Kyle Rudolph. Kirk Cousins. I might even flex Kirk or stream Kirk Cousins here against Seattle's secondary. And then everybody on Seattle, you're starting.
Yeah, everybody in this game is a start.
Exactly how I feel.
Make it
who wins
easy
this
as that.
game? I think the Seahawks win.
I think the Seahawks win too.
Monday, Broncos at Patriots and Chargers at Saints. Broncos at Pats. We've already talked about a few of those guys. Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay. I'm not starting Philip Lindsay. I'm a little more comfortable with Melvin Gordon starting. I know he's your sit of the week, but I'm a little more comfortable. If I have to choose between those two guys, I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon.
For sure.
I'm not starting our quarterback here. What about your boy Tim Patrick? Another big waiver pickup for the last week, wide receiver.
Yeah, I am not happy about it this week.
Stephen Gilmore is out.
He is out. Bill Belichick is still going to find a way. There's not a whole lot that they have to take away from this Broncos offense.
Noah Fant is out of this game, by the way, also. I don't know why we keep forgetting him, but Noah Fant would be a good option. I would start him, but he's not playing.
Yeah, like I said, Bill Belichick is not going to have that hard of a time deciding who he wants to stop. His name's Melvin Gordon. So I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to do much.
I don't either. I'm honestly not starting anybody on the Broncos offense if I have the choice.
Me neither. And same thing with the Patriots offense.
Exactly.
Actually, you should not start anybody in this game. No starts all around. Unless you have to start Melvin Gordon.
If you had to pick one player from the Patriots to start, who would it be? I can give you mine. Mine would be Damian Harris, if I had to choose one.
Mine would be Julian Edelman.
Okay. What about N'Keal Harry?
No.
Okay. That's your thing. I would start Damian Harris if I had to choose somebody from the Patriots to start.
And just realize that I picked Julian Edelman, and I think that he's a good sit of the week. So it's not looking great for that game.
I think the Patriots win this game.
Me too.
Chargers at Saints. Justin Rainbow Sherbert. And this week may be a little tougher for him, but I feel like he's a good – is he a streamer at this point, or is he somebody you can start every week?
I think that he is somebody you can start every week, but he does have a tougher matchup this week. So
okay. That's kind of where you're at with Herbert. He's a higher-end streamer, a lower-end starter.
I do think you're starting him.
Okay. Keenan Allen from here on out is a target monster with Justin Sherbert in the game. Keenan Allen, you start week in, week out at this point. I know he's not the guy who caught one of the touchdowns. It was like 5 different no-name guys you never heard of before last week. But those will come for Keenan Allen.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He's safe. Don't worry about him. Austin Eckler's out of this game. Like we said, he's out for a few weeks. You got Justin Jackson and Josh Kelly.
Yep.
Brayden talked about them. Josh Kelly is his start of the week. Is that what you said? His gold
I think
start?
Josh Kelly's a lock in your lineup until Eckler comes back.
Okay. I'm also comfortable with Justin Jackson. Flexing Justin Jackson, honestly. I feel like it's more 50-50 split with Eckler out than it is with Eckler. So I'm kind of safe with those guys. What about Mike Williams? He's coming in this game questionable. I picked him up off a waiver wire because I need wide receiver help, and I felt like he was probably one of the better wide receivers left on the waivers.
Yeah. I think he can do damage if he plays. Herbert has shown he's not afraid to go deep. So with that being said, Mike Williams, we don't know. He hasn't played with Mike Williams yet.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Yeah,
he hasn't. So we don't know how this dynamic is going to work. It could be amazing, where he loves to throw it to Mike Williams.
I hope so.
We don't know. So
I think this week I'm not playing Mike Williams against the Saints.
I think
especially with him questionable. He's been fairly injury prone, kind of guy.
Yeah.
What about what's his name? Hunter Henry. I don't know much about what he's been going on.
I don't think so. He hasn't been lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, if Hunter Henry's your starting guy, I'm probably going to go find another tight end to pick up. Mo Alley Cox may be sitting there on your waiver wire.
Yeah, I would much rather have Mo Alley Cox.
What about Jared Cook's coming in this game questionable? What are you doing with your Saints, Brayden? Alvin Kamara's 100% start every week.
Yeah.
No question there. What about the rest of your Saints?
I think it's notable that Michael Thomas will probably play in this game.
Okay.
So you are definitely, if Michael Thomas plays, you're playing him.
Yeah, I think he's had a few weeks to recover.
100%.
You're playing Michael Thomas this week if he plays.
Which means it's going to be the
Michael Thomas show?
Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara show.
What about Drew Brees at this point?
If Michael Thomas plays, you can flex Drew Brees. Or flex, I say flex. You can play Drew Brees. He's actually a starting quarterback on your roster if Michael Thomas.
I think that's it for me here. I'm not playing Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not playing Traquan Smith.
No.
And when we say that, if those are your guys you have to fill in to flex somewhere, yes, you play them. You don't just not play somebody. But if I have options, those are guys I'm not playing. Or Jared Cook's also, I think, did I say Jared Cook? Jared Cook's coming in this game questionable. I feel like you can find better tight end options. Robert Tonyan,
agreed,
from the Packers last week that we correctly predicted would have a good week. We said he'd be a decent pickup, and he decided to go off for 3 touchdowns. Who wins this game?
The Saints. Saints win
I'm
this
going to go
game.
with the Chargers. I'm going to say Chargers here. Just why not? They get there. Justin Sherbert.
Hey, I could see
Justin Rainbow Sherbert gets his first win right here.
I could see it.
Gets his first win.
All right, Bills. Moving on to Bills at the Titans.
Tuesday night football. This may or may not happen.
Have we ever had a Tuesday night football?
I'm sure we have at some point.
Surely something happened.
This game is easy for me. I'm not starting anybody in this game. I don't. Yes, that sounds controversial. Josh Allen has been a number 1 QB. Stephon Diggs has been a great wide receiver. This game, I'm honestly worried about not the players themselves, but the game being played this week.
So this is where you have to start making choices. If you haven't spoken with your commissioner about what we talked about earlier and you don't have a plan set in place, then I'm with you. You have to start making your choices. Are you gonna risk not playing? Are you gonna risk playing Jonnu or Josh Allen or Derrick Henry or one of Stephon Diggs?
Yes.
And risk getting a 0 if they don't play, or are you gonna fill in with somebody that might get you 5-10 points?
This game for me, and it's all depends on the rules in your league. And by the time you're listening to this, if anybody has tested positive on the Titans. But I am 100% fully going into this week prepared to not play anybody from this game.
If
you have Josh Allen, go pick up somebody else, please.
Okay. Hypothetically, if you had Josh Allen and Jonnu Smith and Stephon Diggs on your roster, and Sunday morning nobody's tested positive, it's slated. They're going on Tuesday. And obviously, you still got a day or so that can ruin that. What are you doing?
If we make it to Sunday, see, that's a tough one. If we make it to Sunday and nobody's tested positive
Sunday
on the
morning,
Titans,
nobody's tested positive.
then I believe the game goes at that point.
Okay.
And so I will switch those guys into my lineup Sunday morning if nobody on the Titans has tested positive Friday morning or Saturday morning.
That's the big question.
Then I will go with those guys.
Okay.
But you also you could also end up with 0. I'm worried about this game being played. I am. Titans it's been a week and a half now that they keep finding positive tests.
I think I'm with you. I mean, if
it comes Sunday and if another person tests positive on the Titans, this game's not happening. Friday or Saturday.
Agreed.
So this game is officially not happening if that happens. So if I have Josh Allen and Jonnu Smith and Stephon Diggs on my roster right now, I am going to find right now. Waivers already went through if you didn't already pick somebody up, but you go on your list of available players and pick up another quarterback, pick up another wide receiver, and pick up another tight end.
Yep.
Because you very well may be playing without those people this week, and it's very important that you don't want to play with zeros. And if your commissioner has not stated, hey, we'll give you a fill-in player or an alternate player, then you just need to – we knew this was going to happen coming into this year.
Yep.
We
All right.
knew we would have to be extra prepared. So
Who wins this game?
the Bills.
The battle of the undefeateds.
I think the Bills win.
Yeah, me too. The Bills are good. Josh Allen's good.
Bills are gonna be good.
All right.
In our game
that
previews.
concludes the episode. How you feeling?
My throat almost got a little dry, but I have my water.
I'm glad you had your water, because that would have been a bad deal there.
Allergies are terrible. If you guys know how I feel, hit that like button.
Yeah, hit
You know how I
that
feel.
like
It's
button.
like this every day. I am trying to keep my eyes open and down a whole bunch of Benadryl, so that's where I'm at.
We're gonna start giving you an additional reason other than we're awesome as to why you should hit that like button. And Nolan's allergies are one.
If you have allergies and you feel me, hit that like button. My throat's scratchy, my eyes are itchy, my nose runs like a racehorse, and it's great. So thanks for jumping on the bandwagon, guys. This has been our Week 5 game previews. I think I said all that right. Yeah.
You did, yeah.
Went through all the games, broke down, start sits, and some additional information that you need to know for this week and for the weeks going in the future. My throat got really scratchy there.
Makes
Close this out.
sense.
Say peace, Brayden.
Like button.
Like and subscribe, as everybody says. Thanks, guys. Peace.